For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. That never gets old. Jeremy Bradley here, your punching bag here on The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com on iTunes and SoundCloud. Doing my best to be Arthur impersonation. Been sick with the flu for the past couple of days, but gearing up for Dawson City Music Festival, and that is going to make everything just fine. We're chatting with some of the performers and the executive director coming up in the next 30 minutes. Let's hit the celebrity phone right now.
Celeb spotting on The Scribble.
You know, I love to wear scrubs and a surgical mask and dance around the room. See, fans of the Pack AD are going to get that reference. Maya Miller joining us on the line to talk about the upcoming appearance at Dawson City Music Festival. Hello there.
Hello.
Okay, so I've got to ask about that video, because at first it's kind of like, okay, this is weird what I'm seeing, but then I really got into it. Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, I think it was supposed to be weird. Actually, that video was kind of the secret dream of mine for many years, to actually choreograph some sort of dance into a video and then just kind of leave it to us to come up with something creepy to dance to.
Well, it worked though, right? I mean, that's the thing, right? You've got to be different these days. You've got to come up with something that's going to get people interested in talking, so... So as everybody's heading up to the Great White North, I think it's only fitting to point out that you guys just got great kudos, CBC's Best Canadian Bands list, right?
I know. It was very, very nice. It was definitely an honor to make that list.
That's pretty cool, because, you know, I was scrolling through, you know, some of the names on it, and, you know, some people have been around for a long time, others not so long, but to be recognized, you know, for all your hard work, that, it's paying off, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and to be recognized where we were on the list, you know, honestly, obviously we would have been happy if we just made it in at number 100, but to make it in where we made it in the list was really nice. It was very sweet of them. Right.
So you were at number 55, though, in case people are wondering, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Let me ask about that, though. You know, some people make music for the money and the fame. Some do it to express themselves. Really, no matter who's listening, it doesn't really matter. Others like the creativity. So what you're saying is you'd be doing this whether you're being paid or not, is what it sounds like. Yeah,
I mean, it was kind of... someone wrote an article about us years ago, which has always summed it up best for me, so I kind of stolen it and repeat it constantly. We just sort of shrugged ourselves into existence. I mean, we became a band on a complete whim of a conversation, and then found ourselves playing shows, and then we're on a label, and then we're on another label, and we're doing this and that, and throughout it all, you know, we've just kind of just done it because we actually enjoy doing it, but not out of any kind of, you know, pressure to conform or be something that we're not. We just wanted to have a good time and enjoy the experience, and so far we're still enjoying it, so we're doing it.
Okay, so tell me about that conversation. I want to hear about that. So do you want to be in a band? Let's do a band. What do you think? Like, what was the conversation?
Yeah, it was actually literally that. We were going out to like a fun park, you know, where you play miniature golf and do the go-kart racing and pinball and stuff, with two other friends, and I don't even think it was me or Becky in the car, but one of the other friends said, "Hey, let's be a band," and they were all like, "Ha ha ha, yeah, let's be a band." And then the next day, you know, my friend Trevor was out at Long McQuaid sussing out instruments, and like all of a sudden we're just like, okay, yeah, let's be a band. And at the time, Becky was just playing guitar; she wasn't singing, and no one wanted to, like, drumming. That was the last thing, so I had to learn how to drum, and then we were a band, and then we jammed around for a summer. We'd never played any shows or anything like that, and it didn't work out. But through it, Becky and I discovered that we actually kind of had a compatibility and a musical sensibility that tied in together, and so we just kept going with it.
See, that's the thing what's different is that, friends think that, yeah, we can make music together, but if you don't have that, if you don't mesh, right, that's where it doesn't work. But it worked with you guys, is what you're saying, obviously.
Yeah, we found ourselves on the same page, although we couldn't even have predicted. I mean, we both have, we share a musical taste, but we also have differences, and, you never really know if something's going to work till you try it. So it worked, and so here we are.
For sure. So let's catch everybody up because, a huge American audience we've got on our radio shows, so they might not necessarily be familiar with, the smaller or the independent Canadian groups. So describe your sound or your music. I'm going to do this. Can you do that in 3 words?
3 words. I'm going to say garage rock pop.
Yeah.
Like punk. I can't do it in 3 words. It's impossible. We've changed a lot. I've changed a lot over the years. But I just say, hard, sort of driving good times. Good times being one word.
Yes.
Put a hyphen in it.
Hyphenate. Yeah, of course. Right. So I've got to ask, does one person come up with the idea and then you both sort of collaborate? Like, how does it work?
Well, that's the thing. It's actually, it's changed a lot from album to album. Neither of us, I know that I feel that there are some people in this world that really only, they're really into one type of music. They're really the ska for life or what have you. And, neither of us are that way. So our musical tastes are constantly changing and evolving and, to current, to retro, to whatever. So it kind of depends on where we're at. I mean, right now, like, for instance, I'm really heavy into something that completely, I'm really into sort of smooth hip-hop and R&B right now. So I'm feeling I'm not even, I can't even bring that to this, well, I could try, but it would be bizarre. As far as us, coming up with things, Becky will come up with melodies, and I'll come up with a drum beat that goes with it. Sometimes I'll come up with a drum beat, and from there she'll get a melody. We both write lyrics. We try and be fair to each other, and whichever lyrics are working best, those are the ones that are going to work. And so far, it still seems kind of 50-50. I mean, there's some aspects of it that you can't even remember who came up with what, and then other ones are really definite, but only definite to each other. So I don't know. It's it still mostly has an element of freshness, and you never know what we're going to come up with for each other. So
we've got to talk about what you've come up with now for the music festival, Dawson City Music Festival. Actually, people are listening to this as we're heading up there right now. So what can we expect at your show there?
Oh, well, we are going to play some new songs that we have literally just come up with this year. We're working on a new album. And, I think if you know us from before, it's kind of, I don't think there'll be, there might be a little bit of a surprise. I think that we're evolving. I think we're evolving into something that we are enjoying right now. So, we're happy, and happy musicians play better. So maybe things are good because we're happy. But, yeah, it's going to be new stuff, and actually we've played in, I don't know if you have a sort of an audience that listens in Alaska, but we've played in Alaska a couple times, actually. So, maybe some of those guys will be coming by.
Nice. Have you been to Dawson before?
Not been to Dawson. We've been to Whitehorse a couple times, and we've played in Sitka and in Fairbanks.
You're in for an interesting time, that's what I'll say.
Oh, well, I'm very much looking forward to it. This is, it was very much a highlight in band history to be going to this festival.
Oh, for sure. We were there 2 years ago. We did our show live from there, and we had a good time. So definitely, we'll be seeing you on stage at the Dawson City Music Festival. Very quickly, then, your website, Facebook, Twitter, where can people be in touch?
We are at thepackad.com. Facebook, it's / thepackad. Twitter, it's / therealpackad because some other person took our name for reasons unknown. Oh. And Instagram, it's the Pack AD. We're just kind of like the Pack AD everywhere you go without the dots in between the A and the D.
Just look for it that way. All right, Maya Miller, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com. Celeb spotting on The Scribble.
All right, we continue our preview of Dawson City Music Festival, talking with a bunch of the artists and the groups performing in Yukon this weekend. Now joined by Adrian Gross from Slocan Ramblers. Hello there.
Hello.
Love the group sound because I think it's very unique to Canada anyway. You've got, the banjo, the mandolin. We don't hear that a lot in Canadian music, do we?
Yeah, I mean, there's always kind of been this bluegrass scene, and there's always been, in terms of fiddle music, there's tons of that in Canada, but it's definitely a different scene than the bluegrass thing. But I mean, there's some really great bands playing, and I think it's growing all the time. I live in Toronto, and I feel like I walk around my neighborhood and I see a new bluegrass band. Every few months or so, there's a new kind of weekly bluegrass gig popping up. So it's a growing thing. It's really cool to see.
In the last segment we had Maya Miller from the PAC AD on, and I love putting people on the spot and giving them a word limit. So if you could describe your sound in, let's say, 5 words, and you can't use bluegrass, 5 words, how would you describe your sound?
All right, let's go. Here we go. High energy acoustic music. I don't even need 5 words.
There you go. Now, you just had a new album come out, though, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, the new album came out on July 16th, so it's super fresh. It just came out, and it's our second record. We recorded it with a really great producer. He's a great banjo player and singer-songwriter in Toronto named Chris Cool, who is pretty well known throughout Canada through playing with his bluegrass band, the Foggy Hogtown Boys. They were a big influence on us. So, it's our second record, and it's kind of really represents the band and where we're at right now. A lot of original music, a lot of kind of interesting arrangements of old tunes that we love. And, it was a lot of fun to make. We recorded it very acoustic, very live off the floor, all playing around a bunch of mics. So I think it's really representative of the band's live show. Bluegrass,
as we've already said, rare to Canada. So what got you interested in this?
Yeah, I mean, it was a mix of, everyone comes to music in their own way. And for me, it was, I live right downtown Toronto, which is a big city, and if you're not from there, you might not know how great a bluegrass scene it has, but I can tell you that about 6 nights a week you can go see a weekly bluegrass show, and that's just the weeklies. So there's a lot of bluegrass in Canada. I got into it I was always into jazz. I always love old blues music, old folk music, and to me those musics are all really related. There's this kind of strain of American music that really kind of values strong instrumental playing, really strong singing harmonies, lots of creativity, lots of arrangements, lots of improvising. Bluegrass really has that, so I heard a bunch of Doc Watson records that kind of blew my mind. I moved to Toronto and started seeing local bands playing, and that was kind of it. I've been playing guitar since I was 8, and then I picked up a mandolin when I was in my early 20s and just got really obsessed with it. And so that was my particular route, and everybody in the band's a little different, but that's mine.
But it's cool, though, that, Canada's so diverse. So you're saying, downtown Toronto. I would expect, and again, just, an ignorant sort of opinion, would think that it would be more prevalent in Alberta or, in smaller communities there. So it's great that Canada's really embraced your music. And because you guys are playing festivals all summer, right across the country, aren't you?
Yeah, we counted. There's about 11 festivals we have this summer, ranging from some really cool stuff we did in Colorado, played in Quebec, played in Ontario, and lots of stuff out west, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC. Western Canada's been really great to us, and Colorado's been great. There's somehow people who live along the Rockies seem to really like our music, and Dawson City, I kind of consider the Yukon part of that Western Canada vibe, and we're so excited to get up there to play for the festival. We've heard amazing things.
Well, let's talk about that. So what have you heard about the festival?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that have played it. I know, or I've heard that it's really diverse. I've heard that it's you can hear some really exciting world music band up next to an indie rock band, and then an acoustic band will go on, and then they'll have, something totally out of left field. I think whoever, the people who do the programming, the artistic directors, are really open to just cool, creative music that excites them. And that's, for me, what I love. I love to play at a festival where maybe we're, one of the, maybe the only or just one of 2 bluegrass bands, and a lot of folks that are watching us might never even have heard bluegrass before. It's fun to play for a diverse audience, and I think Dawson's going to be that. Plus, I've heard it's a serious party, so we're getting ready. We definitely haven't spent, 3 days up there like we're about to, so that's going to be, we have to explore a little more. It's a cool town, really cool town.
Did you do the shot with the dead toe in it?
We did not, but we will be doing that this time. Our banjo player also did that same kind of circuit, and he did it. He did the toe. We were told that you have to drink the shot fast, because if you wait, then the toe starts to disintegrate into the water. and then you're drinking the toe, which is much worse than just touching it to your lips. So I intend to drink that shot very quickly.
We did it live on the show, so on radio, but then we also have the video of it, and you get like a card, like a little certificate thing. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's like a black dead toe that they put in a shot glass for people who aren't familiar with it. And I think we've actually got the pictures of it on our previous coverage. What's the address again? yukon.jbonair.com is where we have all of that stuff from Dawson last time. Yeah,
we'll not be looking at those before we go up. We're going to go fresh.
I'll email them to you
away.
just to scare you. Yeah, you kind of need the drink after you do. Well, anyway, yeah, you'll experience it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. We'll do it. We'll give you a call after it happens. We can commiserate over it together.
How about, well, you know what? I'll tweet you. We'll meet up. We'll find out where each other is, and then we'll do it together maybe, and we'll tweet some pictures. Maybe we'll do that. Okay.
I'm sure we'll get a whole bunch of folks to do it.
For sure. So what else can people expect then when you're on stage in Dawson? What are we going to be seeing?
Yeah, I mean, so we're doing, Dawson will be, it's a folk fest. I mean, or it's a, outdoor kind of music festival. So we'll be focusing on pretty high energy stuff. We do a lot of high energy bluegrass music, and also it's definitely kind of a folkier element of the band that's been creeping in a little bit with a lot of our new original stuff. So it'll be, I think it'll just be a class, like just a slow can show. There'll be a whole bunch of bluegrass stuff. There'll be some folkier stuff. There'll be, a lot of picking, a lot of grinning. And we have, a lot of music off of our new record, but we're already getting ready for our third record. So actually a lot of the stuff we'll be playing will be super new, like just a few months old. We've been having a really, really good writing sessions. So we'll be kind of debuting a whole bunch of new stuff, I think.
Nice. So I was just going to ask then, what are you guys working on after this then? Like, I mean, when you're on tour, I mean, this has got to be hard to then, record things and do. So when do you find the time? Like after the festival blitz is done? Like when do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you're on the road, and we really try to, you're on the road, and there's so many just demands on you when you're on the road. Besides, you're just in a car driving and then getting to a hotel, and the last thing you want to do is, be working. But we really try to write and work on stuff on the road. Mostly people will come on the road with new tunes, and then we'll arrange them, and we'll kind of bring them to life, and we'll configure all the parts. We do a lot of that stuff on the road, and then we'll go home and, in the breaks, winter's a good time to record a record. So it's usually a little bit less touring happening, and it's a little more stable. And if we can find a few months, we'll make our third record hopefully sometime in the next year. If we can muster it.
All right. So quickly then, your website, Facebook, Twitter, all the other fun stuff where people can stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely check out the website. We have the shop on there with our brand new record, Coffee Creek, which, like I said, we are really, really excited about. It came out totally surpassed how we were hoping it would be, so we can't wait for people to get their hands on that. And we have some really cool new T-shirts that we're selling up there, all this cool swag for the summer. And yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they can follow us and all that kind of stuff. And mostly if they're in our neck of the woods, come check out the live show, come say hello. It's going to be a fun summer, and we're definitely covering a lot of ground, so should be good.
All the dates are on the website. What's the address?
Everything is up there. We're at slowcanramblers.com. They can check out the tour schedule up there. And, it's all there.
Well, we'll be sure to check it out. And my new shot buddy, Adrian Gross from Slow Can Ramblers, we will see you. We'll see you in Dawson.
I'll be there. I'll see you there.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom41.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom41.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom41.com. Go to freedom41.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom41.com.
Celeb spotting on the Scribble.
I don't want to say we saved the best for last. I might get in trouble, but Lisa LeBlanc is joining us on the line to talk about her music and what we can expect at the Dawson City Music Festival. Hi, Lisa.
Hi there.
How are you today?
doing pretty good.
Good. Thanks for joining us. So let's get everybody caught up here. Is the title "You Look Like Trouble, But I Guess I Do Too" a fair representation of who you are?
Yeah, totally.
Love that.
Very much so.
So, you know what? It's interesting. I love reading what people say about your music. They don't just hear it, they experience it. Tell me what that feels like as an artist.
Good. Well, thank you to whoever said that.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. What is it that you want? What do you hope people take away then from your music when they're listening to it?
That's great actually to hear that from somebody. But I mean, when we play, we tend to give pretty much everything that we've got, and my favorite shows are really like when that the artist in front of you is super vulnerable, and like smaller shows or whatever, and you just kind of have like this really kind of family feeling when you go in a show where you feel as if the person is talking directly to you, and so that's kind of what we try to do while playing. So thank God. I mean, it's like really cool that I don't know if people feel that, because we have a blast on stage all the time, and we're lucky to be doing what we are doing. So I mean, it's just awesome if people feel the same way.
Artists or groups can sell out, a 20,000 seat stadium or arena, but it's those, like you're saying, those smaller, intimate, almost like a coffee shop sort of concert. That's what really touches people, right? Because it's like you're making eye contact, you're singing right to the people, right?
Yeah. For me, my favorite shows have always been like smaller shows. Like, I mean, you can go see like bigger bands that are in stadiums, and I mean, if you really love that band and it's like your favorite band since you were a teenager, I mean, it's awesome, and you'll be super happy to live it. But I mean, there's nothing like going to a small show and really, feeling as if you can almost touch the artist, or you can talk to the artist after.
Well, like you say, it's also about interacting with your fans, right? The people who are there to see you. And I know that's kind of the vibe of the Dawson City Music Festival that you're going to be at. We'll all be there in just a short time. But
I've heard about Dawson Music City Festival for such a long time, and I've been begging to go for a couple of years, and I've been annoying everybody to try to go. I've heard so many good things, and we were in Whitehorse 2 years ago, and it was so awesome. I love Yukon, and I just love the Canadian North, and so it's super exciting to actually be able to go and go hang out in Dawson, and I'll be able to hang out a couple days afterwards and kind of really experience the area. So I'm just super excited.
So you've never been to Dawson before at all?
No, never. It was in Whitehorse, but never
right.
Dawson.
Okay, yeah, no, it should be a good time. Well, so tell me what you've heard about the festival, because I've never gone there either.
I mean, especially that right now it's summertime, and with the whole, 24-hour sunlight, and lots of realizing it's 2 o'clock at night, and you're like, oh my goodness, okay, and I've heard shows are awesome, and people are great, and it's just like people who go over there are just there to have a great time, and it's such a special kind of scenery and kind of vibe. So I've just heard really awesome things about the festival. So really, really looking forward to seeing all of it, and just like playing some shows and seeing who's going to be there. And yeah.
I think it's going to be a good time. So let's go back a little bit, though. Tell me about your start in music. When did you know that you wanted to make this your life?
Pretty early. I started singing because I'm from the Maritimes. I'm from New Brunswick, and from a really small town, so everybody made music because there was nothing else to do. So pretty much everybody plays music. So I was kind of like, I was born into it. So and I started playing guitar at 14, and I used to write before that, just like very average poems, like teenager poems, and so the two kind of mixed well together. Started writing songs, and I pretty much instantly knew that's what I wanted to do as soon as I started playing guitar and doing shows in bars and stuff and playing covers. So yeah, kind of knew pretty early on.
Nice. So aside from touring and performing all over this summer, what else do you have on the go? I always want, are you always writing new music? Take me inside your world there for a moment.
actually for the past maybe 4 years. We've been kind of busy, but I mean, there was this first album that was released in 2012, so we've been busy with that, and then the EP that just came out in November. So we were. So I wrote for that, but now I'm actually kind of concentrating a little bit more on writing because I have to make another album at one point. so that's kind of the plan for the next couple months, of just kind of writing, continuing to tour, and just eventually starting to work on an album. So yeah, that's kind of the plan right now.
So when do you think the next album is going to be coming out?
I don't really know exactly, but sometime next year, probably.
Okay, well, we'll be watching for it. Now, I always love having people plug their Facebook and social media pages, so I'm sure you'll announce it there. So where can people stay in touch with you?
Yeah, Facebook's pretty much the way to go, and Twitter, and so those are pretty much the ways. I also have a website, so I mean all the dates are over there, and you can check all that out on there.
Okay, what's the address to it?
It's lisaleblanc.ca.
lisaleblanc.ca. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to see you in Dawson. We're going to have one hell of a good time, aren't we?
Oh my God, I can't wait. It's just I can't wait.
And you know what? And I'm going to hold you. I'm going to see how much, what is it? You look like trouble, but I guess I do too. I'm going to see if that's a fair representation. We'll see.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Lisa.
Well, thank you very much. Have a good one.
Scribble Dribble brought to you by SpeakFreeWithJB.com.
Thank you.
Check out syndicated newspaper columnist Jeremy Bradley's rants and raves in his weekly news and entertainment columns.
Yeah.
That's at SpeakFreeWithJB.com. Since he's paid to not shut up, God knows why. Once again, Jeremy Bradley.
We've heard from the artists and what they're expecting this weekend at Dawson City Music Festival. I'm joined by, I'm going to say it, the leading authority on what's going to happen, aside from good times and good music, we know. Emily Farrell joining us, Executive Director of the festival, on the line to close out the show today. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me what makes DCMF so legendary.
Yeah, it had a humble beginning, and it's really grown quite a bit since then.
So what can we expect this weekend?
We can expect a legendary time under the midnight sun, which I think contributes to our reputation. We have such a unique location here in Dawson City. And I think just incredible music and an incredible people. We really benefit from having an enthusiastic audience, and lots of people return, and a lot of people we always welcome for the first time and see them come back. And we really program a diverse range of music. So there's people you've heard of before, people you know you're going to find out about and love, and there's always lots of CDs that people leave with. And just a really unique mixture of different genres.
And I think, what's interesting is that we just had the artists on the show. All of them were separate. They didn't hear the calls. They didn't hear the other interviews. But every one of them said, I've heard such great things, and so I can't wait to do this. So that really does say something as well, that they're looking forward to it because it's more of an intimate venue, they were saying. So tell me about that, right? It's a very personable time, right?
It is. Dawson itself is quite small. The footprint of the town is small. It's very walkable. Everybody rides bikes here. We have 5 venues throughout town. We have our main stage venue that's a big sort of circus tent. Then we have a beautiful historic theater. We also have a very intimate church venue as well as 2 outdoor free venues that can be accessed by the public, whether or not they have a wristband. And the artists play at all of them. They end up, we have transportation for them, and lots of them you see someone, we had Fred Penner riding around a bike that he borrowed all weekend a couple years ago with his guitar on his back. So people have a really good time. You know
where Fred Penner's from, right?
That's right, I do.
He's from my hometown.
Yeah, good old Manitoba.
That's right. Now, it's interesting, though, that you've got such a diverse lineup of artists. Everything, from bluegrass. Like, what types of genres are we going to be hearing?
This year we do have bluegrass. We have quite the country gems with Corb Lund, so we're kind of heavy on the twang this year. We also have what we like to call folk noir with Wendy McNeil. We have some beautiful fiddling. We have some experimental music. Definitely some straight-up rock as well as world music with Alpha Yaya Diallo. So we like to keep it quite the mixture.
What is the population of Dawson normally, and then what is it? How many people do you get coming to this every year?
We have over 1,000 festival goers, and in the winter, there's about 1,000 people that live here. In the summer, it's quite seasonal because of tourist activity. So so it bumps up to about 2,000, and then we add a whole bunch more for festival weekend.
So you almost like double the population, or wow, that's incredible. But I know there's a whole bunch of information on the festival website, so people can check out more information. What's the address?
It is www.dcmf.com.
And I know that you're going to be who's tweeting up a storm this weekend? Is it you? You're going to have people.
It'll be me, and we'll probably have our incredible production assistant, Devin Berquist, also behind the fingers of Twitter, as well as our Facebook and all those good things. So people can keep an eye on us there, and we also love our Instagram as well.
I was going to say we'll be stalking you, but that sounds a little bit creepy, but you know what I mean.
We welcome the attention.
Oh, Emily Farrell, joining us from Dawson City Music Festival. Can't wait we'll see you, I guess, in just a short little while.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, thanks for the invite.
Thank you.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,